And tonight, one of the most versatile actresses on TV, the star of many sitcoms, including The IT Crowd and The Inbetweeners, as well as BBC drama hits like Ordinary Lies and the long-running medical soap drama Casualty, Belinda Stewart-Wilson. Well, Belinda's latest project is on the big screen with the heist rom-com Licence to Love, a Ukrainian and British comedy, which will be out in Odeon cinemas tomorrow. Belinda Stewart-Wilson, welcome to Mark Dolan tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.
We'll get to the movie in just a moment. You had an interesting childhood, daughter of a British Army officer. Family spent many years on the move before you settled in the UK. So how did your childhood shape the person that you are?
Well, I went to a lot of different schools in sort of quick succession, so probably learnt to make friends quite easily, I think. That was probably the biggest bonus.
And how about the acting? What gave you that bug?
I went to a boarding school when I was about 7, and we did the New Girls play, and I remember getting on stage. I think I was playing Hiawatha.
Typecast.
Thank you. And I said to myself, I feel at home here. And when I grow up, I want to be an actress, and I kind of just about pulled that off.
Yeah, I mean, going to boarding school at 7, blessing or curse?
Yeah.
Bit of both?
A bit of both. It's quite hard when you're that young, because you can't tie your own shoelaces and you get in trouble. I've got a lot for that. But you do, again, learn to make friends. You become very independent. Yeah. But, you know, you're taken away from your family and your pets, if you've got them, and your mates and stuff. So it's quite...
Is it because your family was still on the move and it was better for you to be at boarding school?
Yes, probably. Let's put it that way, yeah.
let's say that. Listen, you've done so much television comedy, the satirical show Broken News, The IT Crowd, of course, The Inbetweeners. I think, actually, producer Greg's been busy watching Inbetweeners clips all afternoon, laughing his head off, but he told me that most of it we can't broadcast.
It's so rude.
It's very naughty, which I love. But we found, I think, a broadly acceptable clip. Take a listen. Hysterical stuff. You couldn't really make a lot of what was in that show now, could you?
I don't think it would get commissioned now, no. It's so racy.
Yeah, I mean, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, are we getting a little bit too sort of nervous about offending people, or do you think it's right that things have changed?
Well, I'm just glad it had its time in the sun, and the fact it's changed isn't really up to me.
No, well, that's it, exactly. Well, it's an absolute comedy classic. But listen, what about then, you did do quite a long stint in Casualty.
I did about 10 episodes, I think, or something.
I'm fascinated by shows like that, how it works. A real production line.
Yeah, it's a machine, and it's moving, and you've got to keep up with it, and it doesn't stop. It's fast, but it's also, they do pay a lot of attention to detail, and I do think, they care about it. It's not just, bish, bash, bosh.
No, definitely not, which is why it's been successful for so long. What sort of parts excite you? What is the sort of character you're drawn to?
I do love playing comedy parts, and something with a bit of grit. I like doing both. I love doing drama, I love doing comedy, and if you can combine the two, and I love doing things like rom-coms, I love all that stuff. I mean, ideally, I think I'd be in rom-coms back to back. Yeah,
I mean, we were talking just before we came on air about when they started, because I thought maybe it was Woody Allen with things like Annie Hall, but you'd say it goes back further.
Well, I would say, Billy Wilder, Some Like It Hot, The Apartment, 7-Year Itch, Marilyn Monroe stuff, all of that, oddball comedy stuff, they're all romantic comedies, really.
Yeah, we just had the Oscars just passed. What is your overview of the Oscars? Does it still matter? What do you think of award ceremonies?
I've sort of lost interest in award ceremonies.
It's probably quite healthy, isn't it?
Yeah. To have lost interest?
Yeah, because it's all very fake, isn't it?
I just don't feel very comfortable watching them anymore. I think I used to when I was little. I used to sort of, you stayed up late to watch the Oscars because it was in America and it all felt very exciting. Yeah. And you'd think, one day, that'll be me. But frankly, it's not me, and that's okay.
I think that's a healthy thing. I found it a bit of a yawn fest this year. Let's talk about the new movie. It's called Licence to Love. Here's the poster. I think Greg's going to fire that one up. All Ukrainian direction production team who left the country with nothing. What a story.
Yeah, and the crew were extraordinary, and a lot of them had lost their homes. They'd been bombed. They didn't have anyone. They were such a cheerful, upbeat bunch of people. I didn't hear any of them complain. They were very sort of matter-of-fact about it and very accepting of what was going on, but they were an extraordinary bunch. They're a really lovely, lovely group of people.
With really good production on that film. So fun to do, and it's out tomorrow.
It is out tomorrow, I think, but it was really good fun. Yeah, it was really, really.
How long does it take to make a movie like that?
Well, we were out there for a couple of weeks,
yeah.
and I'm not sure how long it took around that, but yeah, they got that probably shot more quickly than Casualty.
Unbelievable! Listen, such a treat to have you in.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're watching you for years, and we'll be watching you. What's next for you? Have you got any plans?
I am very, very busy with lots of things in the pipeline. Yeah,
that's good. Well, listen, so you should be. Really, really fantastic always, especially in comedy, which, as we can all agree, the hardest thing to do. Let me tell you, Belinda and I should know.